What up, what up, what up, what up? Thanks again for tuning in. This is The Activated Podcast. I'm your host, Ebu, as always. And welcome back again. Thanks for everybody for always tuning in. Today, as always, one of the most important things for me is always reaching out to my friends and having them come up here and tell their story. I think everybody has their own special story, which we can all learn from. So today, funny enough, I got my man Shades in the building.
Shades.
and you know, now that I just said that, I want to give you a little bit of background. So me and Shade, we went to the same college back in the days. We were in the architectural program.
Yeah.
And first time I met Shade, I was like, this dude is just on some weird shit, right? Because picture this. For how many years we were in school? Like 2-3 years together.
Yeah, like 3 years.
I've never seen Shade's real eyes for 3 years because Shades used to come in class with shades on.
Always.
Which is interesting enough. And I used to be like, now that I think about it, you stood out because you were unique in your own ways. Nobody else did that. I'm talking about like whether it was rain. Like he wasn't putting the shades on because it was sunny outside. That was the brand at the time. I'm curious to know, how did you come up with that? Like what inspired you to even start wearing shades everywhere, like inside, outside?
Oh man, this one's a deep one. You know what I mean? I guess we all see things. You know what I mean? And I guess for me at that point, I was seeing too much, and I felt like the only way to see a little less of what's really happening was to wear some dark sunglasses. You know what I mean? Real shit. It was real, man. I mean, at the time, I guess 2005, year of the gun. I lost a lot of my friends and shit that year. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was still seeing these guys, just, you know, like on a daily and night, day, they would just pop up. Like, oh God. So I mean, I started wearing the shades, man, and trust me, it was a good, I say 7 years straight. Shades day and night. All day, all night, you know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, interested. Now that you say that, like it's like I said, I keep going back to it because I can see how easily people write you off in society when you're not conforming to what the norm is.
For real.
So you wearing your shade, and now that you tell me that is due to obviously a traumatic experience that you've had as far as losing your friends.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine to think what that feels like. But give us a little bit, like what neighborhood in Toronto did you grow up in and things like that?
Well, I mean, I grew up on Western Road in the Eglinton area.
Shout out to Western Road, by the way.
Yeah, man.
Black Creek, we in the building.
Yeah, see, that'd be anywhere between Jane and Eglinton on Western Road. Went to Portage Middle School back in the days, you know what I mean? And then from there, just York Memo. So it was really around the Western Road, Eglinton, Keelan, Eglinton section. So, I mean, like, I had a lot of friends from, like, York Square and, like, Western Road side, you know what I mean? So...
And, like, I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like, how bad was... Let's just put it in broader perspective. How bad is gun violence in Toronto, if you can compare it to what it was then till now? Because I've also... and the reason why I'm saying that, like, I lived at Black Creek for just a year. When we first moved to Toronto. So that was my introduction to Toronto. And I went to Western Collegiate, which I've made, and from just living there for a year, I've made maybe a good solid 2-3 guys from that area that I really considered to be friends and actually my brothers.
Yeah.
And I was only there for a year, so it's a as bad as society or whatever make it seem what these areas are, it's really like real people living through like some of the realest shit ever. You know what I mean? So I've personally, I almost got stabbed once. Which is,
crazy,
it's light working out. I even talk about it in my second episode. If you have not heard it, you should go listen to it. But and at that point, lucky for me, I was able to make the adjustment as if, you know what, if this is what it is, I'm not coming around
for real
to that. But for some of the guys that grew up in there, you can't just get up and leave because your family is there. Your friends that you know since you were, children are there.
Yeah.
How did you manage to not get caught up in that? Or, how did you maneuver through that?
Well, I was always focused in school. Like I always had that thing about learning. Like waking up every day, learning something new.
Yeah.
was real for me. So I always felt like, even though there's so much going on, if I could keep focusing, stay in school, maybe I won't get diverted into, all of the wrong stuff and all of that. But, product of your environment, sometimes you make it out, sometimes you make it out a little shaky, So.
And also, like, seeing your friends, obviously, things happening, did that also make you adjust that even more, like in terms of like, okay, I really need to watch what I do and things like that, right? Because I've been around guys that obviously I don't live there no more, but I will see like a post go up saying that homie got shot and is dead and stuff like that, which is weird to me because, like I said, I know these guys personally, so it's like, but I've never was exposed to that to its full extent. Like, I knew guys walked around with guns and whatever it is.
Yeah.
They had knife, they rob people, they might talk about it or not, but like, do you think that living in an environment like that makes you sharper as an individual?
Yeah, more or less, I feel like I got like six eyes. Really, I see things sometimes before it happens, or I feel like I'm anticipating it about to happen, type of thing.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of been through that section where it's like you see it happening so much times where it's like it becomes a pattern. And for me, I kind of study life in a sense where I pay attention to patterns and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
I guess it started to become like what the normal thing is. Like, we almost get numb to these things happening.
Yeah.
So getting out of that. So that is, like I said, I just learned something new, to be honest. Because like I seen you, like when I first met you, you had on shades, and I couldn't understand like, yo, what's going on with this dude? But at the end of the day, whenever we talking, it wasn't like we weren't standoffish.
Yeah.
And we met in school, so like in our program architecture, it was like 4 black guys.
It's true.
So we have to look around and be like, yo, these white guys ain't giving us an answer, and this is true. So we naturally build a bond from that.
Sure.
So at what point? Because now obviously, as I'm looking at you, you don't wear no more. You no longer wear the shades. At what point did you think you were able to? Because like I said, I guess is going through trauma. How did you get through that to where now not wearing the shades, you don't feel like these memories are hunting you down? Because I guess the shades was kind of like a way to block the negative energy. How did you get to the point that now do you feel like you don't have to wear it anymore?
I guess, like, I had to find exactly where I needed to be on the road to success, I guess. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is like, I guess I was always doing something. I was always trying to make it somehow, but I never really had a direct path. And I felt like with my eyes being exposed, as they say, the eyes are like, how I go. The eyes are the soul to a human's, something like that. I don't know. Like when you look in someone's eyes, you can like see their soul. Or
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like for me, I felt like looking in my eyes, there was no direction. You'd probably get lost looking at me than anything else. You know what I mean? So it's like, until I found that straight path as to where or what I got to do to be successful, I felt like, I guess, if you look at me now, like, I mean, where I'm looking, it's probably not even at you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I can't really get,
like, put it into what I mean. From what I gather, like listening to you and seeing you, I think maybe it's getting over the fact that it's overcoming your fear. Maybe was that one of those? And not to say it's fear, but like I said, I personally I've never lost a close friend to gun violence. Like but I've known people to have been, but it's not people that I have close relationship with. But it's people that used to be around the neighborhood. Then next week you hear that they got shot up, and you're like, I personally wasn't even. I didn't know niggas was even selling drugs. To be honest with you,
I know those.
Or even carrying guns. One time we got into an argument over card games and people pull up with shotguns. I said, and I was telling my friend, y'all got shotguns in your house? That's it. Because these, like I said, these are good folks that you see. And I mean, the environment, like you say, is what sometimes mold our choices.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it for us. It's tough to really fight out of the system. Now, we met in school, right?
Yeah.
Studying architecture, and what got you to number one, like, is this something that you knew you was gonna do, or is it something that you were trying to, like, find your way?
No, I always wanted to be an architect, because, like, when I came to Canada in 1999, I had a teacher, Mr. Krepp. It was my design and tech teacher.
Okay.
And, like, I just liked the way how he wrote. You know what I'm saying? Like, how he wrote on the board. I was like, yo, who the like? It was like, it was just like all the letters were just like capital letters, like block size. They're all block letters, all caps, and I'm like, man,
who writes like that?
Who writes? And he was so, like, precise on every lettering that made me say, yo, who writes like that? And when I found out that he's an architect, I was like, oh shit, I want to be an architect.
You want to do it? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because my tech teacher, he was trash, yo. he like, it's crazy enough. Like, now that I look back, in the whole class of about 50 students, he had 2 favorite students, which he would go beyond as far as helping them, but us, he wouldn't give a fuck. The software at the time we were using AutoCAD, which is and that was my first introduction to AutoCAD.
Yeah, me too.
And then he really didn't know what he was doing. This was in Brampton. Now that we think about it, like, when I was in Weston, I had a tech design teacher, but he was hands-on. Like, he was a good dude. And so I was like, okay, so when I came to Brampton for my final year, I was like, oh, I'm going to continue to go on that path. But that teacher, he was so trash, bruh. Like, he didn't inspire me to do nothing. Because he always, and now that I think about it, when I was in this class, he kept telling me, architecture is not for you. So, like, now that you're bringing these feelings back, now that I think about it, I should go back and tell him, listen, I went through the schooling, I did all of that, and this is actually what I'm doing for a living.
It's for me.
That's crazy.
Me. Yeah, real shit.
Mr. Shout out to, we're going to put a name out there. I think his name was Mr. Palmer, something like that.
Palmery.
Big fat Italian guy. Now that I think about it, it's stirring. It's throwing me off. But anyway, so that inspiration came from there, like from high school. Now you're doing something else. Yeah. So have you completely left the architectural thing to the side, or is something that you're hoping to get back to at some point?
Nah, not necessarily left it to the side. I just felt like at a point I just couldn't find a job.
Right.
And I just I kind of, like, truthfully, I did enjoy Photoshop more than I did AutoCAD
Okay.
when I was in college. So, like, I mean, I was all into the editing and pictures, photos, and videos and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess it's all an art. It's all, you know, I mean, art form as a on a whole. But the architecture thing, I just feel like I can't sit down and get down to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like my mind's always flowing and thinking something different, and
Like you won't have the focus to sit there and oddly enough, and another thing that I want to let people know is that you actually, like, when I met you, you were rapping.
yeah.
Turchy deep.
I was turkey deep. You already know, man. You know what I'm
I would
saying?
never. That phrase would stick with me to the end of time. Every time I remember it, and I remember you used to draw the little logo, and that was your thing. So you also dibbled and dabbled in rap back then, but you're also telling me that you're looking to get back into it. What draws you when it comes to want to make music, like, cause I mean, if we look at it now, like you dibble and dabble in architecture. You also love recording, making records. You've now, which we're going to transition to in a little bit, you've now fully transitioned into creating unique pieces. I mean, which is kind of the main focus why I wanted you to come up here, because I've known you as one guy and then a different thing. And I was like, shit, like you, and I've never seen anybody do it. But we'll get into it. But what was your inspiration, like, in terms of rapping? Is it because you thought it was just the coolest shit, everybody else rapping, or the passion came from somewhere else?
This one's deep. Shit, man. Like, okay, growing up, before I came to Canada, I'd say I had a really bad stuttering problem.
Right.
So, just being able to say a sentence was something I always wanted to do. Like, it was like, you know, so I used to write poems and stuff like that, but I couldn't read them out loud. You know what I mean? I used to sit down and write them, but like, if I should stand up and read it, it would just be but, you know what I mean? My stuttering thing, this shit was crazy.
Yeah.
But then about 2000, it was about 12, I seen this video on it was some speech therapy video on how to talk better and so on and so forth. And the video inspired me to not only learn to speak better, but maybe I could turn these poems and stuff that I used to write into some type of music. Just put it to a beat and just flow to the beat, maybe. And then I guess that's what happened. I started doing it on my computer. Just, I had one of them little stick mic.
From the dollar
bass. Yeah, from the Dollar Tree, you know what I mean? I used to just record on my computer with recording, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I guess from there it was just, you know, flowing to the beat. But yeah, man, I just think back to when I couldn't speak properly, and it just made me wanted to rap and make music and actually speak faster, in a sense, where it's like rapping is not just talking.
Yeah.
It's kind of like speed talking, in a sense, where it's like, yo, blah, 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 blah. I could say so much words now in a minute that I never used to have been able to when I was younger, you know what I mean? So it's like this whole rapping thing was like, yeah, it's like self-motivation, like, you know,
I could do this.
Yeah, if you could catch any beat, like, that's you just keep getting better and getting better at speaking and communicating and so on. So like yeah, man. So the rapping thing was like it was like my own therapy in a sense where it's
Right.
like I just felt like I just needed to keep doing it, but I guess if I had the backing with everybody that felt the same way, like you need to keep doing it, I would have probably blow, you know what I mean? But it was just like back then it's like everybody seen what I was doing and it's like, oh fuck, if Shays could do it, I could do it too. Look, like yo, this guy can't even talk. Like you know what I mean? I said, like, stuff like that. Like,
Oh man, as you're talking, I'm listening. Two things that I gather from what you just said, and for those that are listening, we gotta understand the importance of what you're talking about. Number one, we're talking about somebody that had a stutter problem.
yeah.
And you've worked your confidence enough. Because, and I always tell people that all the time is, like, it's easy for us to hate on each other or to see somebody do something and to undermine the work
Right.
that it took. Whether or not, like, it's trash or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we chase the wrong dream. Like, we want to do something because we see somebody else doing it, but it's nothing that we're passionate about.
Yeah.
But through that, like, what I salute you for is you work your way out of a stutter. Because I never heard you stutter. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, shit, how did these, you know what I mean? But now you're telling me through that, like, you build enough confidence to not only work your way out of the stuttering dilemma that you had, but to even be confident enough to make songs and because I've seen a couple of your videos and things like that, and I mean, there goes the inspiration right there. Like, to me, that's
Yeah,
let's even put the rapping things aside, but let's even understand as to how you got there, not just because you were just trying to, you know what I mean, become a rapper and be like everybody else.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, let me ask you a real question. How much support do we not get from our own community? And why in your own perspective, because this is all our own perspective, is how I'm trying to find the word for it, but how much support we don't receive from our own community? How hard it is to break through, like, your friends or even family or even like as a black community as a whole? And why do you think we still have this kind of mentality if you could break it down for me?
I just think it all derives from a whole lot of selfishness. I mean, everybody wanna make it for themselves, but like the support really comes from within, where it's like you gotta see someone doing something before they get to a level of where everybody else see it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta see that and put the hand in to support it. I mean, like a lot of times it comes from where one starts doing something and they get a lot of support from, say, the female group, and then a lot of their male friends don't like that. So I mean, something as simple as that, and it's like, well, nah, yo, I could do that too. You know what I mean? I could do that so I could bag a bunch of bitches. Like, real thing, because yo, that's what's popping.
Yeah.
Like, yo, if I go rap,
I get the chicks.
I get the chicks. If I do a couple shows,
I get the chicks.
I get the groupies. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
how
how
niggas is really the rapper. Like, people really put that, and to even touch off on that is that when I put out episode, people pay attention to it a lot more if I have a girl there. which is to me it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've heard people say, "Oh man, you only got girls on your show and things like that." I was like, well, number one, women don't have an ego towards men.
Yeah.
So when I reach out to guys, they a little bit more. They take their time.
Yeah,
they might not feel like, whatever it is, or I don't know, maybe they want me to chase them around, which I have nothing. I mean, I don't want to say like I reach out. Like I reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about this for
few months.
And I think from like when I must have put up my 3rd episode, I was like, yo, Shade, I'm doing this podcast thing. I love to talk about your story because from where we met and to where I see where you are now, I think it's even today as we're talking, I'm learning everything here that you're saying is things that I had no idea about. Like we see each other at school, but school we stressed out over, school. We used to sleep at school. We went through all of that and we kind of lost touch, but we kept in touch through social media.
Yeah.
And then this year I saw you again in like 3-4 years at Carabana. We shared a drink together, you know what I mean? Which is, and it's love. Like the moment I see you, I was like, Shades, you know what I mean? Like it's what it is. And to go back to that, I think it's weird that when you see somebody doing something, instead of us like, yo, Ibu's doing this, let me support him.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to create something. You know what? Oh, this nigga doing this.
Yeah.
I could do it better.
I always want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it better. It's crazy.
And to go back to that is, where did you get the most resistance in terms of support? Like, do you think, was it through the black community? Is it through your friends? Or is it like, if you had to break it down?
It was just, I tell you, I say it's through my friends. You know what I mean? Especially the ones that had the eye for the money.
Right.
The ones that just love the money. It was mostly them. Like the real ones still push it. I mean, even right now. But I mean, a lot of people hopped on just because they seen the boat moving. And they're like, yo, fuck, this 30 Deep things, like these guys are onto something. You know what I mean? we got T-shirts. It was like I mean, yeah, it felt like a wave, and it felt like people was just hopping on the ship just because they seen it moving. You know what I mean? It didn't really have nothing, no real input. So as soon as like I stop at giving them an inspiration or stopping an idea, no one else have one. It's kind of like, well, like, let's see if we could get a show. Let's see if these guys, looking for an artist or something like that. Let's see. Like, it was like I was trying to set up video shoots, photo shoots, studio sessions I pay for, and then everybody come through and just rap, and then the studio guy just gotta like cut up pieces and like make a track and stuff like that, and it's be like, yo, like that's not the purpose. Like, how are we gonna promote this? This is a freestyle.
They don't even understand artistry.
They don't understand. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like,
they don't understand song making.
I came prepared, hook everything, and then you guys just come with a verse and drop it on. Like, yo, put me on that. You know what I mean?
They're not even rapping to the concept in the song. I myself I've dibbled and dabbled with rap. I made songs. I think I even got to a point where I made a complete tape.
Yeah.
I had to. I mean, and I remember when I would do songs with other people, I realized now, if to put things in perspective, this is my love for rap started when Get Rich or Die Trying dropped.
Oh man, why? Listen, did you know I seen something this week that said it was 15 years since that album dropped.
So think about it. I'm 28. So if you minus 15 years, that puts me at what? 13, 12. So that's when I got
inspired.
That's when my love of it, and I was making, I would make shitty tracks to keep in mind, but I was making songs. So then a couple years ago, we've actually decided, like, Ibu, you should do a mixtape and things like that. Yeah. I've never promoted myself as an artist because I hate doing what everybody else does. But I got love for it, and I mean, even to this day, I still do it. Now, when I would do songs, because I like conceptual songs, like I talk about a specific story. I think I might have shared a song with you back when we were in Sheridan, because I was like, yo, you rap, we should whatever.
Yeah.
And then I had put this guy on there, and, I was talking about, actually I remember this song, it's called Get Off Your Chest, but I was really talking about the stress I was going through
Right.
from just stepping up from just doing it for fun to like now I have to make a mixtape.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about it. Song I love it to, and then the dude got on there and started talking about how much weed he smokes and he about to kill his grandma and shit like that. And then I was just like, so things like that was just like. Now I can understand why like bigger artists when they do no feature, they do no features
They
because
just go
sometimes like these guys not really understanding the whole concept behind song making. Like people they got bars, but when you put it on it's pure trash. So I guess you was also going through that because now was you the only one that's like paying for the studio and guys were just coming in there just to rap and just go, or did they want to help out?
Like I mean, yeah, I'd say 98% of the time I was paying for the studio because I was doing it for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it'd be like my phone's always ringing. They call me, be like, yo, Shays, where you at? Yo, I'm at the studio. Yeah, where? Which one?
Let me.
man, them coming through. Oh, all right. And then like, you know what I'm saying? Like I done record all 3-4 tracks already because I pay for like a 5-hour session.
Yeah.
I usually book 5-hour sessions because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yo, if I could stay in the studio for 5 hours, all I need is, you know what I mean, couple bottles of juice and 2 blunts, and
you're good, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'd say midway, these guys would show up, and it would just be like, you know what I mean, the producers mixing up the tracks that I done recorded, and it's like everybody's hearing them, and instead of yo, this shit need to hit the streets, it's like, yo, let me hop on that, yo. Yo, this track is fire, dog. Yo, don't put my verse on it. You know what I mean? It's
they just
like,
wanna be next to the guy when the shit takes off, kind of thing.
Right. But that was before the shit take off.
Yeah.
So it's like at least push it a little first before you jump on it.
And also, like, if you were to get on, they don't understand. They also like people don't understand is that when one person makes it,
everybody
save at least 50 families. We gotta even think about look
Real
right now
talk.
the impact. We could take artists like Drake. Like Drake,
everybody makes
changed families.
The whole city.
Not even that, but like he just changed the lineage of somebody's family. Like you just like if you were supposed to go this way, your whole trajectory just changed, and not even for just you, but like we're talking about your kids, your grandkids, his like you know what I mean. So I think instead of always competing with each other, let's help each other's build. You know what I mean? Like I would love, and I have not yet found anybody that does a podcast, but I really want to like. Get somebody else like you do one. Let's let you know what I mean. But it's tougher. As soon as we feel like we're in the same lane, competition starts. People start to undermine you. People will just not even. They will force themselves not even to pay attention to your movement because they think it takes away from
what they're
doing. Everybody, I mean, in life is very. We all got the same tools. We all got the same Google. We got the same computers. We got the same mics.
Real shit.
We might not have maybe our financial might be different, but everybody has a tool to success. But not everybody is going to succeed, unfortunately. Now another thing, I want to transition into the art thing, which is really what made a light bulb go off in my head. Like, damn, what's going on? So, you have this. Is this the company? What's it called?
C.L.I.Q.
C.L.I.Q. For those listening, can you break it down for us? What is the meaning behind the name C.L.I.Q?
C.L.I.Q. Well, it's not clip art. You know what I'm saying? But
how you spell it? C.L.I.Q.
A.R.T.
A.R.T. Okay.
So C.L.I.Q. You know what I'm saying? It's for everybody. So it's like, it's a one-of-a-kind mirror experience. So basically, click, the word click, it took me about a year to come up with those 4 letters that is also a sentence that have a meaning.
Okay. So you pick words and then you made it make sense, is that? No,
well, it started with the photography thing. So at the time, I'd drawn a logo, and the click was coming from my picture, my finger snapping on the shutter button. So every time I hit the shutter button, I hear a click.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
honestly, I like, and I'm not making this up. Like as you're talking, like I'm like, it's honestly, I wish maybe it doesn't matter now, but like. I'm like, you really are a think, not like you're not here bullshitting me with things that you're saying.
Nah.
Like these are really, and now we've all used the camera obviously, but nobody really stopped to think about the click noise. So
Yeah, yo.
an idea stemmed from just that. So continue. Sorry, not to cut you off, but it just like I was just like shit.
So yo, it came from that. So as I started taking pictures and stuff, so I'm clicking, and then I realized that, hey man, maybe we could make money by taking pictures, because I don't see much black guys taking pictures. You know what I mean? I don't see much black photographers out there.
Yeah.
So I bought this camera, and I drew a logo of me holding my camera. So I took a picture, like a selfie in the mirror with my camera.
Okay.
And I drew that picture, so it was me holding the camera and my finger was on the shutter. And I thought about when I click it, like what it sounded like. It was just like all I heard was click. So I kept thinking, well, click. It's C.L.I.C.K, C.L.I.K, C.L.I.C. I went about everything, but it had to have a meaning. So it took me about a year to come up with C.L.I.Q, and it's clear leader in quality. And everything I did was all about quality. If I was taking a picture, I had to take the best picture, yo. I had to make sure the lighting was good. You know what I'm saying? If I'm recording a song, I have to make sure I'm on the beat. I don't skip nothing. I ride the beat like a jock, like the jockey on the horse. Like I'm on it. I'm on it. You know. And then it was just, so the whole click thing was just, it kind of clicked for me in a sense where it's like, C.L.I.Q. It's kind of, it sounds like C.I.L.I.Q, C.L.I.Q, and it's clear leader in quality. And then from that, it just, it put it on a whole now where it's like, this whole mirror art thing came from all the art forms that I've gone through, which is like poetry, visual arts, architecture, photography, rapping, making music, writing music, actually, learning how to edit videos and pictures and stuff like that. So it's like putting all of those art forms together, and basically I created some quality art, you know what I mean, which is a one-of-a-kind mirror experience.
Now, where did you get the idea? Because, like I said, I've never, maybe I'm not, my horizon has not been broadened enough, and I'm not in tune with things. But where did you get the idea that you can cut up mirrors, or even like talk to us through the process? Like how is what goes behind the process in making a small piece, for example? Like, give us maybe from beginning to end.
Let's go a little deeper. Let's start with how it came about, because this happened about 3 years ago. So, I started working at this glass company. So, when I got this job, I was at another glass company before for a few years, and then I got a job at a new glass company as the shipping lead. So the first day, the owner asked me to help one of the guys at the drill, the glass drill, which I never seen a glass drill before because at the other company, I wasn't in that section to see all of that. This company was huge.
Yeah.
Now this new company, small company, is about 26 employees or so.
Okay.
So it's like everybody got to know each other. You walk from one end to the next end in like
You know everybody. Yeah. Okay.
3 minutes. Yeah. So like he asked me to help the guy at the drill clean out the pit that and throw the pieces of glass in the garbage. So as I'm cleaning it out, I'm throwing like 2-inch, 4-inch diameter, 1-inch, half-inch. It doesn't even matter. Like it's kind of like cutouts of a mirror and different glass and so on and so forth. So it's like I look at a mirror piece and I'm like, holy shit, like, yo, these are cool. Maybe I could do something with this. So I asked the boss if I could take some home. He goes, well, fuck you, you're gonna throw it in the garbage anyway. Suit yourself.
Yeah.
And since that day, I never miss a day on getting these little cutouts. So for about a year after just taking them home, I had like a shitload. And then,
You started just collecting.
Yeah, I started becoming like a hoarder for like little glass mirrors and shit. And then like, like my lady was starting to, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with all of this? Junk.
Don't bring all this garbage to my house, boy.
Like, So I was driving around and I found this little board. It was like a 30-inch diameter form board, but it was for $2 at a garage sale. And I bought it and I took it home and I had a piece of cloth, like a cloth material. And I just kind of staple the shit around on the 30-inch diameter board, and I just glued some mirror onto it. And I look at it, I'm like, holy shit, that looks cool, man. And then since then, just circles and squares to 3 years later, now, you know what I'm saying, I can make anything now.
So now that's what I was going to say. Like, so you went from just collecting what was somebody else's garbage and seeing something through that, then you figure you can create something unique. And that's what stands out to me is that I don't know if anybody else does it. I've not seen it. I've not been exposed to it. Yeah. And to see you do that, I was just like, oh, shit, that's cool. And I know a couple of times you did invite me to your shows, and for whatever reason, I could never... I know. Make it, and we'll be talking to I was like, I'm on my way and I get caught up. And now I'm thinking about it as damn, I should have, and not for lack of effort, by the way, unfortunately. I just never got a chance to get to that. So you I've seen you make a custom piece of actually Blue Jays logo.
Oh yeah. Right?
Now, do you have now the machine to custom cut these things? So obviously you can't just
Nah, everything's handmade, hand cut, everything.
So there's a way to cut glass.
Yeah, it's with a diamond cutter. It's kind of like it's like a little tool. It's about the size of a pen.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you'll buy the bigger pieces and transform obviously and
cut them down
and do what you. I mean, if you listen to the podcast, please make sure you check it out. I mean, we'll leave your contact and stuff at the end. But to me, I was just like, damn, I never seen anybody.
Something else.
Do it.
I did some research too. I googled glass art, mirror art, seen the different styles out there and so on and so forth. And I felt like when I started doing it, I gave someone the idea. It was this guy at work. So I gave him the idea and showed him some pictures and stuff, and he got his wife to start making them. So he's making, basically...
So talking about he stole your ideas?
He stole my idea from about 3 years ago.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Is he white?
Nah, he's black, yo. But you know what? Listen,
why we the biggest hurdle to each other is weird. So he stole it. He started. Is he still doing it now?
He's still doing it. But guess what? The other day he came to me and he said he got about 100 pieces that he want to sell.
Damn.
If I know anybody who just want to sell them wholesale one time, so I was just like, nah, I don't know anybody.
So clearly he wasn't selling any.
No.
If he was able to rack up 100 pieces,
he was
his wife about to kick him out of his crib.
I'm telling you, he's stuck with my idea on circles. So I left him I had to stop showing him pictures and shit. Because it was just saying, yo,
that's fucking funny.
If I show this guy...
So he's still doing shit you doing 3 years ago, but he doesn't understand that you creating custom pieces now, different things. And
yeah, he doesn't even know. I wouldn't even tell him. I wouldn't even show him a picture. I'm telling you. It's kind of like...
I mean, I guess that's what happened when you... Number one, you see... I always tell people, never see somebody do something and undermine or take away from what it took for them to get there, regardless of how easy you think that is.
Yeah.
Nothing is really easy, right?
Easy.
And the fact that he stole your idea at one point and you've progressed and you've onto different things in terms of that, and you still left him that with his 100 circle pieces.
Yeah, man.
He might as well just put them up, and you can't even donate those. Nobody would take them.
No. Not only that, his shit's sharp. He didn't make them for
So he got weapons
for everybody else. Yeah. Them shits. Yo, man.
So there is an art and science to it.
Yeah, like all of my pieces per se, like you look at it and it's probably like, holy shit, that's broken glass. But you could literally rub your hand all over it as fast as you can and won't get cut. Because I make sure all my shit's polished up, edges and everything. You know what I mean?
Does that also come from you having young children? Is
that too? Yeah. And I hate getting my hands cut. Like there's nothing else piss me off like a cut on my hand. You know what I mean? Because I need those.
Yeah. I mean, it makes, and plus you work with glasses. It's one
I
of
use
those.
my hands all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I got a cut on my hand, it piss me off because I gotta roll a couple blunts and shit. Like I have to make sure. Like it's crazy, man.
What? Now that I think about it, when you initially decided from when you went from just doing it, obviously you didn't know if you would be able to monetize it. At what point when you decided, you know what, I'm going to launch and go forward with the idea, what was, if you could remember, what was the biggest resistance that you got initially? Like, what is one thing? For me, I could put on record and go, when I started a podcast, I've had somebody approach me, and they were asking like, hey, what your podcast gonna be about? And I was like, oh, you know, at the time I knew what I wanted to do, but maybe I couldn't put it in words directly.
Yeah.
But initially, it's giving people the opportunity and the platform for us to create our own narratives. So and I listen to a lot of podcasts, but a lot of them are in the U.S.
Yeah.
But we live in a big enough city, Toronto, where, you know, why are we getting our news from a different country? And I know Canada's always been riding the U.S. from as far as I can remember, right? So it's like, but Toronto is unique enough where we have unique stories that we can create our own platform to be able to change that narrative.
That's real shit.
Now, one of the advice that I got so many advice, and number one, you like, I never really asked for your advice, bro. Like, I didn't come to you, and people feel like, and I get it. Like, you feel like you could just, because you think you know something, you could just come out the gate and be like, bro, like, nah, man, you should, you know, I got anything from you should do. You know, you should start putting it on YouTube videos, which I have nothing against it.
Yeah.
But I told her I'm not trying to become a YouTube star. That is not my goal.
There you go.
You know what I mean? But I understand that, you know, with times you got to move around. Or, you know, some people told me, nah, man, fuck the podcast. It's trash. Just stick to YouTube and do like 15-minute videos. And I was just like, I could tell that they didn't understand. And I couldn't fault them for that because whatever. But for you, if you had to remember an instance, what was like something that somebody told you and you're like, damn, I'm going to use this for motivation. My last podcast, I was telling let haters be the extra motivation. Don't let them be the motivation because something else should motivate your goal.
Yeah.
And the haters is just that extra gas that you put on it for you, if you can remember.
Say,
something that somebody says, or be like, oh man, the pieces of are not what they're looking for, or not, you shouldn't do this, stick to something else. Anything?
Yeah.
You look like you don't want to put somebody on blast.
Nah, I'm trying to think of the exact person, because there was a lot of them. There was a lot of doubters and naysayers that made me really think and say, you know what, I'm definitely gonna do this.
Yeah.
But I think it was one point when my girl, like, I made a piece, and like, she looked at it and she go, oh, I don't like that one. I think you could do better than that. And I thought about it like, fuck, she's the same one that's telling me to get rid of all this trash I'm hoarding, and now she don't like this when I'm trying to do something with it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, which is better than
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say that you sell drugs, but like,
you know what I'm saying?
You're trying to turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, yo. And then I think that was where it blew for me. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna make it where I like it, and once I like it, that's where it stops.
That's it. It's not about, and that is true. I always tell people, people will follow through once they, like, you can't cater to everybody. That's number one.
Yeah.
Right? People will tell you, oh, you know what? Check the stats. Who's listening to it, and give them what they want, and that's all cool and all. But then you become a gimmick.
Yeah.
Because if every week I got to come up here and give y'all what y'all want.
Yeah.
At some point in time, like, I'm no longer following my true inner self.
It's true.
I'm just trying to appease everybody else.
Please the crowd, you know what I mean?
And I like people that do not follow the crowd. And I realized that about me, is that I've never been the crowd following type of dude. That's never been my thing. And I think subconsciously what we build or what we connect is that, through everything else, through schooling, which is, I mean, we didn't even get into the type of shit we had to go through when we were at school. That shit was terrible. I remember vividly, I can't remember this teacher name, but we had this the studio teacher. I don't know if you remember, tall, lengthy dude. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With the glasses.
He was the one, Ken Snell.
There you go. Shout out to Ken Snell.
He was the one who created the fucking course, remember?
and I kid you not, my whole life, and I don't want to say my whole life, but like, one time he was going through my work, and he literally told me that, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not that your work is trash. When it comes to marking, I'm a son of a bitch. This is his exact words. He was like, your work is good, but I'm be honest with you, if you deserve an A, I'm gonna give you a B.
Straight up.
And I looked at him and I go,
you're a fucked up
damn, yo, you really trying to, like, not get me to pursue it. And shout out to him now, like, we done graduated, I'm working, and it's weird. I never took that personal. I don't take nothing personal.
Yeah, I think that's a mind thing. He kind of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, your teacher telling you, I don't care. And at one point too, he had we had a summer course which he took the first 8 weeks off.
Yeah. And
then we had a different teacher he's actually, like, he was in the field. So for that first half, I got an A+ in the course.
Yeah.
Soon as Ken came around,
drop that.
I dropped 2 letters gold. And keep in mind, how can because for those who don't understand, is at the start of every semester you get one project.
Yeah.
So it's not like you got different homeworks, you got to do different essays. When we usually go, we got a course and we're like, okay, for this semester we're gonna go look at an old building. And I remember there was this old building in Mississauga. Yeah. We had to go look at it, and then we had to draw renovation plans for it.
Yeah.
The one at Lakeshore in Bathurst, something like that. Old building. I don't know if you remember. We even went there to visit. It was Lakeshore and Dixie or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So we went there, and then obviously this guy, for the first semester, everything I was giving this teacher, A+, man, I love your work. And you gotta think about it, and this was towards the end, and I was like, damn, this nigga Ken was fucking me up the whole time because it don't matter what I gave him. I almost want to say is racism, or maybe he didn't like us. We always had the hardest time with the same amount of job, and I think that's why we stuck together. So as soon as Ken came back, I'm telling you, Shade, from A+, I'm in there like C+, B, and I'm like,
what is this?
and it's the same work. So essentially, you get one project,
Yeah.
and you just keep developing it through the semester. So at every point in time, you might have to submit floor plans.
Part of it, yeah.
Or you might have to submit elevation, or you might have to like present your idea. But essentially, the building doesn't change.
Right.
You just keep on improving. So if you start with an A, in theory, you should end at a lower A or B+.
Or a B+.
You don't go from A to like
to Z.
You know what I mean? So anyway, that was my little side story, and I'm just remembering, like, in everything we all do, I always pay attention to who you listen to.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand when somebody's being a critic or being a hater.
Yeah.
Because a lot of y'all think y'all critics, but y'all really haters.
Really hate.
You know what I mean?
Hating
and if you got a chance, please check out my boy Shade, and I'll make sure to the next time you're doing by the way, are you doing any more of those art display gallery things anytime soon?
Yeah, you know what? I'm sketching up my first show for the year. It's gonna be sometime in March this year. This year I turned 30, so it's big Montana. It's my 30th year. You see it?
Oh shit, that does, yeah.
So yo, it's gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna make sure.
Are you gonna have like other artists there or to display, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to set it up like an event where I got a whole bunch of art, like my art, couple other artists, and a couple performances and shit. I probably, you know what I mean.
I mean, let's talk. I mean, offline. I mean, I think if I could help out in any way, please. Because I mean, obviously, thanks to this thing, I've made new connection and I've had like different, especially when it comes to artists like. And shout out to Melissa when I did the episode with her, and a lot of people that also do art has been reaching out to me. Hey, I want to come on a podcast too, and things like that. So I actually have a few of them coming up. So I mean, for whatever, like if you need somebody to come and MC your event, whatever you need, you know, I'm available for it. I mean, you my friend, long time homie, and I appreciate.
We have to link this shit up.
And also to put it in context, can we explain to the people what it took you to get here today? To come record this, like the buses and everything.
Man,
you had
I jumped on a couple buses and things. I hopped on the Go. At one point, it was like freezing rain outside and shit. But you know,
and like I said, and this is what I really
had to make it.
I appreciate. And I was telling you too, like now that I look back at it, all these episodes that I have with different people has always been on a Sunday, and they've like. Jump through hoops to come here. Not to say that, but I really, I mean, like I said, I appreciate it for you coming in. Now, lastly, can you give, if somebody wants an art piece, they want to check you out, what is your Instagram? Obviously, when we post the episode, we'll also have it tagged in, but just let people know.
Yeah, you can check me out on Instagram. It's C.L.I.Q _art. You know what I'm saying? You can follow me on Twitter. Click 24/7. That's C.L.I.Q 24/7. And
but I got beef with you though, Shade.
I know.
At one point, you did unfollow me on
Twitter. But
I'm putting you on the spot.
But that's because you weren't using it.
I'm active.
You weren't active.
Shade don't follow. I said Shade. That's my homie. What you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's all good. I forgive you.
All right, man. Yo, respect. You don't know, fam. Like I must have not did that on purpose. No. No way.
You trying to backslide out of that. I was like, yo, Shay don't follow me? What's up? We ain't got no beef. We ain't got no issues. Nah, but I'm just pulling your leg. It's all good. I just want to put you in a hot seat for a second. But as always, if you're listening to this Activated Podcast everywhere, Instagram, please follow up the Instagram account where every episode will come up. You'll be able to see it, or you can follow my own personal page, which is DC Wisboy. and the boy is spelled with an I at the end. So other than that, thanks for tuning in as always. This is the Activated Podcast. I'm your host, Ibu, and today we got Shays in the building, so
Thank
you've
you.
officially been activated. Turn to deep.
Turn to deep.